Welcome, Greek U Nation, to episode number 198 of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. I am your host, Mike Ayalon, CEO of Greek University. I'm a speaker and a two-time author. Our second book, From Letters to Leaders, Redefining New Member Education and Leveraging Belonging to Eliminate Hazing, is available now at Amazon. So be sure to go and pick up that book. We call these episodes the Fraternity Foodie Podcast because there is nothing like great food to bring college students together. Fun fact, my parents would always fight about money when I was growing up. Even though we lived in a very nice middle-class neighborhood, my father always thought that he was able to make a lot of money, which my mom would gladly spend for him. And there never seemed to be enough money around for everybody to be happy. We always had food on the table. We took very nice trips to international places. We would travel to Sweden. We would travel to Israel often. And I even went to a private school all the way through 8th grade that probably cost just as much as a college education before getting to high school. So even as a kid, I would often look at all of this around me and I would try to figure out, how much money do we really need in order to be happy? I think, our next guest, he's going to be able to answer that very question. Ken Honda was 29 years old when he first retired to welcome his newborn daughter into the world. At the time, he thought he was done with work. He had owned a very successful consultant and accounting business, so successful that it allowed him to close up shop and spend his days with the apple of his eye. Little did he realize that his second career, impacting millions by helping them heal their relationship with money, was about to begin. Ken believes that money is energy. It can be either happy or unhappy. Happy money is your invitation to let the unhappy money go and begin bringing in happy money and a sense of freedom. Ken has impacted millions of people with his message, selling over 8 million books worldwide. Welcome to the show, Ken.
Thank you, Michael. I'm so happy to be invited to your show.
Oh, it's an honor to have you on the show. I greatly appreciate that, and I couldn't wait to talk to you. So
Thank you.
let's start here. When you were 8 years old, you worked for your father's successful accounting practice. Your job was to serve your father's clients tea, and there you noticed that some of them were irritated, others were peaceful. Some clients became more wealthy over time, and others went the other way. You notice the difference between happy money and unhappy money. So what is the difference between the two?
So I was very little. So actually it happened in my home. My father's clients visited on Saturdays, on Sundays. And it was so much fun because I could harass my father's clients with a cup of tea. What is your ROE? Or, do your employees stay in your company? So I didn't know what they meant, but I knew that all the adults looked very embarrassed, when I asked those questions. And a few years passed, and the two identical, uncle like my father's clients became like very successful. Some of them just were driven by a chauffeur, brought nice toys and gifts. And the other just, kind of like their shoes are worn out. And I could, I was 8 or 9, but I could really feel this person has a problem. And later on, retrospect, I realized that what they had, almost like a seed, grew in them. And also as a result, their company grew, and the other, they didn't. And it's up to this seed, tiny seed. I think it's an abundance seed. If it's planted in your heart, it grows. So happy people attract very happy people, and unhappy people attract unhappy clients. So they struggle. They may be able to make money, but all the people working with them usually end up being unhappy, which result in the long run, not a successful business. So if CEOs are those who are really committed to a good service, and he or she makes everybody smile. That's the result and also the root of a happy, good business.
Wow, this is fascinating. And I agree with a lot of your assessments because I've worked for many different companies, worked for many different CEOs. Some
Hmm.
of them are happy, some of them are
Hmm.
unhappy. And that
So you
really
know,
does, filter all the way down to all the
Mhm.
employees.
Yeah, so you
Um,
know what I'm talking about.
oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. And when you were 29, that was when you first retired to welcome your newborn daughter into the world.
Mhm.
And that's when you decided to start writing Happy Money, the Japanese art of making peace with your money. So,
Mhm.
why did you decide to write this book when at that point you had everything that you needed?
Yeah, so to be exact, that book is written 2 years ago, but I started writing during the semi-retirement. I had a dream about my daughter. She was 2 at the time, but in my dream, my nightmare, she grew up and she was wearing a lot of chains here and there, piercing, and she was chewing gum, and then said, "Hey, Daddy, you may have little money, but you're just filthy little poor thing, you're nothing." And then I woke up and I realized I was sweating. And then beside me, then there's a baby girl sleeping very innocently. And I realized if I just kept going and just make money by investment, I cannot be proud of myself. And my daughter cannot be proud of myself because I'm not producing anything. I'm not making anybody happy. And then I realized I have to do something to fulfill myself and also help other people. And I searched for a few years, and as a result, I ended up writing a booklet, and the booklet leads me to a book and a series of books. And after 200 books and 8 million copies, I'm just still doing exactly what I started.
Wow, that's amazing. And I feel the same way about public speaking on college campuses because I feel
Mhm.
like I leave the campus a better place. And for
Yes,
me, that's what makes me feel good inside about what I'm doing.
great. I'm so happy and proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, I guess getting back to that question, how much money do we need in order to be happy?
To be happy, actually, you don't have to have anything, but practically, you need to have some money, some circulation money to cover your basic needs. So the bare minimum of the money is that you don't have to worry about the basic survival. So probably it's up to the country, but if it's in North America, if you're making less than $20,000 or $30,000, you may have to worry about your survival because of the medical expenses and stuff. So you don't have to make millions of dollars to be happy because it's an attitude about money. But I think practically speaking, you have to make some so you don't have to worry about your basic needs and daily income.
Got it. Yeah, that makes total sense to me. Now, you made the distinction between, happy money and unhappy money, essentially.
Mhm.
So, how can we invite more of what you call happy money into our lives?
So happy money makes you smile when you receive it and gives you so much joy when you spend it. So in that sense, if you're making somebody happy and receive money, that's happy money. So you have to focus on what you do. If you do it out of love, friendship, and care, the money you receive is happy money. So think of your clients and customers and boss or your colleagues. Are you making somebody happy every day? And if you do, it makes people happy. That is happy money. And in order to do that, maximize your happy money attracting ability, you have to do what you love, what you're good at. If you don't do the work that satisfies you, and also if you're not doing what you're good at, you feel you suffer, and the people around you suffer too, because if you did what you love, they will love you more. So just imagine John Lennon working in a city, city office, and then working very boring paper job. He'll be probably, sing while he was doing typing, and then his bosses say, "Shut up, don't sing," and then he cannot really serve people. So you have to find what you do and keep doing it.
Wow, I really love that. Luckily, I'm in a space now where I love what I do, but it
Hmm.
took me a long time to figure out what is it that I love to do. It took years to figure that out.
But that's a fun part, though. If you knew that when you're 4 or 5, it's not a fun anymore. It's almost like solving a mystery novel. If you knew that Jack did it, at the beginning, it's supposed of fun. So just exploring and what is this, and then oh no, oh shoot, this is not what I looked for, and then it's almost like a finding a partner.
Yeah,
If you just meet your love of your life in the kindergarten, I mean, that's beautiful, but it's more fun just testing a few people and then, just crush your heart and then finally find love.
yeah, I think you're right. And I think that is the best part about love is knowing what it's like to maybe lose somebody that you love. Then you
Yes.
really cherish the time that you have with that person that you love now. So
Michael, you said it so beautifully. Thank you for me.
yeah, well, thank you. No, hey, I love the conversation. I think it's fantastic. So let's talk about some examples because I
Mhm.
think many young couples will fight all the time about money. I think this is a common problem. So, what can people do in order to fight less about money?
So the fighting comes, and I've done a lot of couple counseling. So this is my joy about explaining this. So we have all different needs, not necessarily men and women, but positive people, negative people. So conservative people tend to hold on to the money so they can enjoy the money later. And positive people try to spend the money now, or they don't even borrow money from the future, that means loan, and then enjoy at the moment. So fighting comes from different perspectives of life. Some people want to hold on to the money for security, others spend money for fun. Both are right. So you have to meet in the between. But when it comes to money, you always blame the other one to be wrong. So you have to really feel, why is it that she loves spending like your mother?
Mhm.
She is, I bet she's a fun person, right?
Yes, yes,
She knows how to enjoy. Whereas your father was always stressed out because he forgets to enjoy the taste of good life. But so in this picture, your mother was a teacher. Your father need to learn to enjoy, loosen up the wallet a little bit once in a while, and then enjoy life.
yeah.
And also, she has to know, your mother needed to know that sometimes, maybe 1 out of 5 times, she needs to just hold on tight and not spend the money. So by doing that, she could have satisfied her husband, and also if she did that, your father would have felt a little bit ease and also peaceful. So there, you don't have to just, it's a tug of war. You don't want to spend the money. No, 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 no. You should keep the money. So this tension creates a fight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think my parents, unfortunately, they're now divorced. And I think you're right. I think if my mom said maybe 1 out of 5 times, you know what, we're not going to spend all of this money here, we're not going to go on this big vacation. I think if she did that maybe 1 out of every 5 times, then my father would at least see that he's being heard and he's
Hmm.
being listened to. But he
Hmm.
probably felt over time, she doesn't listen to me. She just spends and spends and spends with no end in sight. And
Yeah.
this cannot go on anymore, you know? So that's probably what happened there. So tell you, there's a story out there of a woman that you know who made more money at work, but she never asked for a raise and she didn't find another job. So
Hmm.
tell me, what did she do in order to make more money at work?
So what's interesting is that she started applying my method, which is arigato in, arigato out. So when she, hold on 1 second, excuse me. So when she started appreciating everybody around her, she included her miserable, stingy boss. she always complained about him and for not paying her right. But instead, she realized that she didn't have a college education, and still she got hired by him and for many years. So she realized that, oh, maybe that's something I should appreciate him for. And a few weeks later, he came to her and said she's going to get a big raise and also a bonus for just showing his appreciation for her. And the most amazingly, he said, thank you. And she said, oh, this man was capable of saying thank you because she never heard of such a thing from him. And she realized that that was more of her attitude for not thanking him. But if she thanked him from her bottom of the heart, and then that really got through. And then he, I bet he's a busy man, so he was busy working other things. And then he realized that his assistant was working for long hours, long time, without getting much compensation. So appreciation is really the key. And if you don't get a raise from your boss, or some of those who are listening and watching right now, oh, my boss would never do that. And then you have to seriously look for the one who appreciate you. It's like a partnership. If you're in an abusive relationship who doesn't show you enough respect, you have to leave him or leave her. That is sometimes you have to make a decision. But just respecting yourself and appreciating who you are and the people around you are the good start.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Now, I have a couple of children myself. My son is 17, my daughter is 16, and
Mhm.
you have a very special relationship with your daughter. So, what is the main thing that, in your view, parents have to teach their children about money?
So in life, we either consume or produce. Some rich parents focus their kids on, they encourage them to consume. That means like more expensive toys, gadgets, and vacation and stuff.
Mhm.
And some of us are focused on producing, like yourself, Michael, instead of just going out in the world and spend. You care and you produce. And I have known many children of wealthy parents and also not so wealthy parents. And it's interesting, even they're born and brought up in the same household, some kids learn to focus on producing, which later on brought them a lot of wealth and happiness. And also others, they enjoy spending, consuming. They end up spending all the money that their parents left and then lost because they don't know how to produce. So, if there is only one thing that parents can do, teach kids the joy of producing things in life. And then if he or she loves and spends more energy on producing, giving something out to the world, if they're more interested in giving, then your kids are okay. But if your kids love spending, love doing parties and love doing things, and if they don't have any interest in producing, over the years, they will be in trouble. So it's very simple. Just teach your kids the joy of giving. That's the key.
Yeah, I really love that a lot. And I know you're doing the same thing for your daughter because you're putting out books out into the world. You're a producer. And so
Hmm.
I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm a producer. I'm writing books
Nice.
and I'm
Uh-huh.
putting it out into the world because that is what I'm producing. That is going to be my legacy when I'm no
Yes.
longer on this earth. Those books are going to remain and people are going to read them. And hopefully it's going to help them make a safer college campus. And so I agree with you completely. I love that perspective. And I hope that my kids watch what I'm doing and
Hmm.
they also become producers. That is my hope, but we'll
Mm.
see.
But some kids learn well because if their parents love producing things more than consuming things, they want to do that. So
Yeah,
I think the key is that you enjoy the power of giving.
yeah.
And if you did that, kids would say, That looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I think so. I think they see it. They see me up on stage. They see the big crowds, and they see that I'm trying to give to thousands of people at a time sometimes. So I think they see it, but you never really know, right? I mean, you hope that it stays in their brain and that, in the future they're going to continue on the same road that you put them on, right? But
I'm sure, 100% sure that they're so proud of you.
yeah,
They're a delicate age, so they may not say it every day that
right.
they love you, but they can really feel it. So I can really feel it because you're such a loving parent. So who would be so stupid not to love you?
Well, I hope they see the good that I'm trying to do in the world. That's all we hope for.
Or at least the next few years.
Yes, at least in the next few years.
Wait,
So
wait until the storm ends.
yeah, we'll see when they get to college. We'll see.
Mhm.
We'll see. But, I understand the concept of happy money. And certainly I understand happy money because that's the money that I earn doing what I love, which for me
Mhm.
is speaking and writing books and things like that. But what about really poor people? What about single mothers? What about the homeless? It's one thing to talk about a shift to happy money, but what about people who truly are struggling just trying to survive day to day?
Yeah, that's a tough question because it's also involves a society too. Like in Japan, we have a very good social system. So all the medical expenses are free for underprivileged people and families, and also people can survive on so like a support from the government. And if you happen to live in a country, even though your country is rich, if your government doesn't support you, that's another hardship. But whatever the situation is, if you're in a hardship, you have to find hope in the future. And also, you have to know how to ask for help. It's amazing that people try to do things on their own, especially single mothers. I've been helping single mothers find what they do and get a better job. So some of my students I have a special quota that they can come in for free or at a very low fee to my seminars and stuff. And I can encourage them to find hope. That is a very important start because if you feel like nobody's helping them, or just nobody's helping you, or the help is not there, you feel depressed. So, but amazing thing is like if you ask for help, people usually give one for you, which is so amazing. It's the same in North America, South America, Europe, Africa, China, India, and in Arabic countries. I believe in good in humanity. I think we are programmed to find joy in helping others. So for those of you who feel like you have more than enough, please extend your helping hands. And also ask your friends and people 3 times, is there anything that I can do for you? And they said no. They'll probably say no, it's okay, I'm fine. And then second time, no, oh, okay. And the third time, maybe, and then they will say. So you have to push them hard if they need your help. So by doing that, uh, the people who are in the tough places, they have to learn how to be helped. And when you think of giving and receiving, that's how our world is made up. And a lot of people want to be a giver, but very little of us want to be a receiver because we are good at giving, but we are so bad at receiving. And then so somebody has to be a receiver. So for those of you who are struggling, just be brave and be brave to be a receiver. And then somebody gets to be a hero and heroine, and then they can become a giver. So in other sense, you are giving them the sense of a good sense of giving. So by becoming you're becoming a receiver, somebody gets to be a bigger giver. So it's a little bit scary place to be vulnerable and ask for help and receive. But somebody has to do it. So if you're in a difficult situation, don't be afraid. Ask for help. And if even if you don't get it, the situation is the same.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. And I talk about that often when I'm working with college students, because the college students that are in the United States, they're very privileged
Hmm.
to be able to go to some of the universities that they're going to. Obviously, it takes a lot of money in order to go to school at some of these schools. Sometimes it's 40, 50, $60,000 a year to go to some of these universities. And I explain to the students that they are coming from a place of privilege, and it is their duty and their responsibility to give back to the communities from which they came from. And that is incredibly, incredibly important. And I hope that all the audiences that I talk to, that they come away with that sense that it is their job to give back and to help those who are less fortunate than they are. And for me, for the fraternities and the sororities that I work with on these college campuses, that's what I want them to focus on, is to make this world a better place. And
Hmm.
today's college students, Gen Z, they want to give back. They want to make this world a better place. I see it every day. So
Yeah.
I think we have the right people here, and their name is Gen Z.
They're better made.
Yeah,
They often remind me of Terminators.
yeah,
The later they made, the better. So
yeah.
I have great hopes for my daughter's generation and your kids' generation because they know what they're doing and they're more conscious.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy for the future.
Me too. Me too. For the same reasons as you. Now, one other question I want to ask about Happy Money is: Happy Money different for senior citizens and for children?
It's exactly the same. I once asked my students to send me all the Happy Money stories, and one of them is from a college student actually. He got a birthday card from his grandparents, and there's a happy birthday, and then card, and then inside there's a cash inside, and it's about $10 US dollars, and buy whatever you want. And grandpa, and he had a beautiful smile because you know grandpa, you cannot buy anything with $10, but the the fact that his grandparent um, just loves him, that's what matters. So even the kids, I have a collection of beautiful stories about the happy money happy money kids, I call them. uh, so one of the students son, who was 8, when she was buying something, her son said, "Mommy, is that happy money you're spending?" And then said, "No." And then she stops buying. So happy money is exactly the same for little ones and also grown-ups too.
That's great. I really enjoyed learning about this. This has been absolutely fantastic. Now, we love good food here at the Fraternity Foodie podcast. And I know that you're based in Tokyo. So,
Uh-huh.
do you prefer traditional Japanese food when you go out to eat? Or maybe is there something here in the United States that has become a favorite food for you there?
Oh, I have a lot of fond memories when I spent a couple of years in North America. I don't know if you can call it American food, but I really like tacos and then hamburgers too. So they're and they come in on my daily lunch menu. And the first Taco Bell opened a few years ago, and there's a long line of people for a chain store like Taco Bell. So I have to tell all the restaurant owners in North America, there's a big chance in Tokyo, not many taco store in Japan, not many people know about the dish tacos. So
Yeah.
that's one of my favorites. And there are so many fun cuisines in North America because it's a combination, of all the different ethnic food. So whenever I visit America, I try out new things.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I'm glad that you had an opportunity to try all those different things. I was born in New York City, so I grew
Oh,
up with
mm-hmm,
all of these different ethnicities and all of these different foods. And I feel very fortunate that I've tried it all, and it's
mm-hmm.
fantastic. And you're absolutely right. I mean, in North America, you can find certainly the best tacos anywhere on the planet,
I
and
bet.
it's delicious. I mean, it is really, really good. So I'm glad that there is, at least the Taco Bell, but hey, maybe it's a new business opportunity. I'll start a new taco shop in Japan.
Uh-huh.
That's great. All right. So I know all of our listeners really enjoyed hearing from you today. So, how can people reach you and connect with you going forward, Ken?
Thank you for asking. I have only one book, English book. I have many in Japanese, so I'm translating some of them. And you can find all the my activities in English at kenhonda.com. And I started a English community. It's called Arigato Living Community. It's an online salon, so I get to speak with everybody on online, and I speak to people on the topics like happy money, like today, and also how to monetize your gifts, and how to find more happy money in your life. So I get to meet every month to these people. We have about 600 people, and what's amazing is about from 20 different countries, like 20-30% Americans and British and Australians. The others, like are like me, they speak a little English, but we kind of like we have the same family, so we try to explain what's going on in a country. So it's so fascinating culturally too, and everybody who wants to learn about happy money. So the time there is my treat. I'm having so much fun. So if you're interested in learning more about that, please find it at my site, kenhonda.com.
That's
Thank you.
fantastic. Yes, of course. It's my pleasure. Go check out kenhonda.com. Check out his book, Happy Money, The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money. I love everything about this interview. I think it's great. I think college students are going to absolutely love it. So if you're a listener right now, be sure to like it on social media. Please share it with all the other college students on campus. And what can I say? Ken, thank you for being with us all the way from Tokyo, Japan. I really
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks to this technology, I feel like you're right there. The only thing I cannot do is shake hands or hug you, but I will save it for another day.
All right. That sounds
Thank
good.
you.
You'll save
Thank
it.
you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. And we'll see you next time.